All right, let's just jump right in. What if I told you there's a career path that consistently makes people millionaires, but for some reason society, well, it kind of shames people for doing it? It sounds completely backward, I know. But as a country, we've basically ignored what might just be the single most important career of the next decade. So today, we're going to break down exactly why this is happening, and more importantly, how it's creating a massive, once-in-a-generation opportunity for you.
And that quote, it really gets to the heart of the problem. You know, we live in this world where careers are judged by how they look on your LinkedIn profile or your Instagram feed, not by the actual value you create. The pressure is all about looking successful, having that fancy, impressive-sounding job title, instead of actually building real, tangible wealth. It reminds me of something the author Will Rogers said: "Too many people spend money they haven't earned to buy things they don't want to impress people they don't like." That's where we are.
And look, I'm not just guessing here. I live this. I run an air filter manufacturing company. Yeah, a boring business. That business does $2 million a month in revenue. It's proof that these careers, the ones we're told to look down on, are the very ones that have built generational wealth for decades. We just sort of forgot.
So how did we even get here? I mean, how did we go from being a nation that respected and valued skilled, hands-on work to one that just dismisses it? Well, it didn't happen overnight. This shift happened gradually, over decades.
You know, what's really fascinating about this is just how clear the pattern is when you lay it out. Right after World War II, the skilled trades were the engine of American growth. My own grandfather built our family business by supplying parts to textile mills. Being a tradesperson, that was something to be proud of. But then, the 80s hit. Schools started cutting shop classes and pushing college as the only path to success. Fast forward to the 2000s, and suddenly finance and tech were the only things anyone wanted to do. We stopped being a nation of builders and became a nation of optimizers.
And this slide really breaks down the two paths we've been choosing between. On one side, you have creating value, literally building things, making stuff, providing services that people need. And on the other side, you have extracting value, which is, moving money around, optimizing ad clicks, taking a little fee for being the middleman. We've built a huge part of our economy on just extracting value.
And this hits home for me. I had this moment in my late 20s. I was at Goldman Sachs, making 7 figures, and it all felt a little hollow. I had to ask myself, what am I actually doing here? What value am I creating? And the honest-to-God answer was, I was basically a bookie for hedge funds, just skimming the fee off the top. It didn't feel real. It didn't feel sustainable. And that's when I knew I had to get back to actually building something.
So why should any of this matter to you right now? Well, because that big shift away from real work has created two enormous crises that are crashing into each other. And whenever you have a crisis, let alone two, you have an opportunity. And folks, this isn't just an opportunity, it might be the opportunity of a lifetime.
Let me ask you something. What do you think the average age of a skilled tradesperson is in the US, like a plumber or an electrician? The answer, in some studies, is as high as 50 years old. An entire generation of skilled labor is literally on the verge of retiring, and there's almost nobody coming up behind them to take their place.
This chart tells the whole story. We are heading for a skills cliff. The demand for tradespeople is through the roof. I mean, every new house, every data center, every EV charging station needs them. But the supply, the number of new people entering these fields has just completely cratered. And Basic Economics 101 tells you what happens next, right? When supply plummets and demand soars, the price, in this case, your potential income, goes to the moon.
Okay, so that's crisis number one. Now here's the second crisis. While we have this huge shortage of tradespeople, we've got a massive surplus of college grads. In fact, the unemployment rate for recent graduates just hit a 10-year high. And a big reason why is that a lot of those entry-level, white-collar jobs they were trained for, well, they can now be done pretty well with AI tools.
But here's the beautiful irony in all of this. AI might be digital, but the world it lives in is incredibly physical. AI runs on these massive data centers that have to be built, they have to be maintained, they need insane amounts of power and sophisticated cooling systems. And who do you think does all that? Electricians, welders, and HVAC technicians.
So this is the key point to understand. AI isn't the enemy of the skilled trades. It's actually their ultimate force multiplier. A modern tradesperson can use AI to run their business better than ever before. You can plan jobs, estimate costs, schedule clients, you name it. The winning formula is simple:
Learn a skill that AI can't do, then use AI to do that skill faster, cheaper, and better than anyone else. Okay, so we've established the opportunity is huge, but how do you actually capture it? Well, it all comes down to a really clear, straightforward playbook. It's a path for going from zero experience to building a multi-million-dollar asset. It really is a simple 5-step path. First, you start as an apprentice. You actually get paid to learn a valuable skill, which means you finish with zero debt. Then, once you get good, you go solo and build a reputation for doing great work. After that, you hire your first employee, then maybe your second. This is the crucial point where you stop being just a tradesperson and you start becoming a business owner. But the real magic, the key to building serious wealth, is step 4, building systems. This quote from Jim Rohn just says it all. Your formal education, learning the trade itself, that'll make you a great living, for sure. But your self-education, learning how to build a real business around that trade, that's what will make you a fortune. This right here is the end goal. You want to build a machine, a business where the value isn't tied to you personally showing up with the toolbox every day. The value is in the automated booking system, the marketing that runs itself, the standard operating procedures. That is what creates a sellable asset that can run and grow without you.
And let me tell you, that asset is incredibly valuable. I actually buy these kinds of businesses. A well-run residential HVAC or plumbing company, maybe doing $1.5 million in revenue, with good profit margins, clean books, solid systems in place, that's a business that's worth $2 to $3 million, easy.
So we have to completely change how we think about this stuff. A skilled trade is not a fallback plan. In today's economy, it is quite possibly the safest, most reliable, and highest upside career path you could possibly choose. Let's just run a quick thought experiment here. Imagine two 18-year-olds. One goes the traditional college route. After 4 years, they've racked up $100,000 in debt and they're graduating into a pretty shaky job market. The other one becomes an apprentice. After those same 4 years, they have zero debt, they've been earning money the whole time, and they're already making $70,000 a year, probably more. So I ask you, who's the one really taking the risk here? And this is what I absolutely love most about the trades. You have a tangible, in-demand skill. That skill becomes your ultimate safety net. It gives you the freedom to take a big swing at entrepreneurship, to try and build that multi-million-dollar business. Because you always know that even if you fail, you'll never go hungry.
Let me just say that again, because if you take one thing away from this, it's this. When you have a real-world skill that people need, your absolute worst-case scenario is a 6-figure job. It can't be outsourced to another country, it can't be automated by AI, and it gives you a foundation of security that is just unbelievably rare and powerful in the world today. So the choice is becoming clearer and clearer. That old playbook, that college is the only path, it's broken for a lot of people. The future, it belongs to the people who can build, who can create, who can provide real, tangible value. You don't need a degree in 2025, you need a skill. So the only real question left is, what are you waiting for?